Hello everyone, welcome. I'm Millie at Learning to Live Life on a Budget. If you're new here, feel free to check out some of my other videos because some things in this video may not make as much sense, or just for advice on where to go for debt. What else have I covered? All sorts of things. I'm a single mum on a low income with mental health issues who is now unemployed. I've gone from being employed to unemployed. So if that's something that's interests you, please check it out. If you are a returning viewer, then hello. I hope you're all okay and doing well, and have had a good time since my last video. If you're struggling, then I'm really sorry to hear that. I'm always a message away. Although I am really slow at replying to messages, I'm sorry. That's just the nature of the person I am. Sometimes I'm on it. Sometimes I'm slow, either because I have a migraine, I'm busy, my mental health's not great. Usually because I'm anxious, and I always lose my phone. So this video has been filmed, or tried to film, about 3 times and has been interrupted by phone calls, people turning up and running out of time, all of that. If you celebrated Mother's Day in the UK at the weekend just gone, I hope you had a really nice time. My nails are painted because we did a pamper, and I got given nail varnish by my daughter. She also bought me this really cute pot from Poundland. It was £1. It's glass. I've used it for my savings challenges. I'm sorry that was really loud, because I am doing a savings challenge from Simple Budgets at the moment, on top of my penny saving challenge. So they're just gonna sit here today, and then obviously I've got all my binders, but we're going to push them out of the way because I've got the camera in a slightly different angle today, because I'm hoping it might mean you get to see a bit more. So here is my lovely Budget Mum by Paycheck workbook. Now, I know I'm not the only one that's got these, and there has been a few comments on different sections and things like that. I have been watching lots of people's videos. The Budget Mum, obviously she created this. Her videos are good, and she also does other people's budgets, and so it really does help if you're struggling. I used her to completely get me started, and then I'm just kind of adapting along the way. 2 seconds. My cat's doing something he shouldn't. Sorry about that. It's my youngest cat. He's about to turn 2 at the beginning of April. He found this bag. He's a very scared cat, very shy, so timid. I had a new washing machine delivered last week, and it's completely thrown him. So he keeps trying to find places to hide, for comfort. Because, you know, there's men in the house moving big appliances. If it was me moving it, he wouldn't have an issue. But he's just trying to find places to hide, and he found the squishy bag. He likes to chew these, so I didn't want him to start chewing on the bag and then popping one. Yeah, no good, no good. So I'm just going to keep them next to me. If you hear a rustling, it's because he's coming for them, but I'm hoping he'll hunker down and hide. So where was I? Yes, the Budget Mum. Really helpful if you are, I mean, she has so many worksheets free online. I need to stop slapping that as loud. You don't need to buy the book, or you could buy the downloadable one. I love notebooks and stationery, and I had the opportunity and the chance to get it, so I did. It's not in everyone's budget, so I'm sorry, you're going to hear him. He's hiding or playful. He's found paperwork now, and he's trying to dig through that. He is a funny old cat, and he's obviously on the road to destruction. I keep saying he does parkour lately because he bounces off walls and everything. Maybe it's that spring is in the air feeling. Anyway, yes, other videos I've watched. Rainbow Budgets uses this workbook. Fuchsia Budgets uses this workbook. Here he is. Meet Bobby. You want some love, do you? Is that what you want? Havoc for attention. Yeah, so there's lots and lots of videos. Each budget is your own budget. So does that make sense? Like, it's personal to you. So that's what I've done. I was planning, before I got this book, with you on video. I think I did like 2 budgets. Maybe 1. And what I'm so sorry. Come on, babe. Come on. What I did was I haven't planned on camera. I have gone away and gone through the book because I really want to be able to get it right, because the setup I was doing before was Budget Mum based. But obviously now I have the workbook, I want to make it fit and also work for me. So I'm going to go through today my April budget and how I've set up the Budget Mum book. It's just my ideas. If you have ideas or suggestions, then it would be really helpful, because some pages, and I'll go through those pages and I'll say, look, what are you using these pages for? Or do you have any suggestions for me? Because I'm a little bit stuck. But let's crack into it. So we'll do the pages at the beginning first. I did do an unboxing where I showed you some of these pages. So I have gone through and I've set goals. I mean, the main thing is to build an emergency fund. So it's not just you have your 1 yearly goals, you're within 5 years, and then you're 10 to 15 years. Mine for me is to build an emergency fund, and I'd quite like to, I've been saying it for years, put carpets down in the bedroom, because we've got laminate, and I just feel like carpets in the bedroom are cozier, maybe. So yeah, that is something I would like to save for, but it's not an essential one. So it's always something I just always say I'd like to do, and I never do. 5 year ones, new car, 2020, is it 2025 or 6? I'm not sure. I will need to get a new car. So I say for that, increase the emergency fund, because they say to Dave Ramsey says to start with a staple of £1,000. And then I've heard other things of like people saying you need like 3 to 6 months worth of wages in case you lose your job, or like £5,000 is a set amount, or 10 grand. And I'm just like, so I'm going to start with £1,000 because I've never had any savings before. So that would be like just incredible. Like, oh my gosh, I think everything, like all of my kitchen appliances, washing machine, cooker, fridge freezer, my chest freezer, like all of them, I've always bought on buy now, pay later, until my new washing machine that I got. If you see my debt confession, I talk about how I received a large lump sum of income. I've bought a washing machine out of that. I am going to do an update on all my debt and the spending for that as well. But yeah, like, so if I have to have that £1,000, like, if the cooker breaks, just go and get another one. Like, oh, the feeling. And I think so many people can relate to that. Like, you know something's going to break soon and it's on its last legs. Like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. And I mean, buy now, pay later does work if you can pay it off in time. And I would always go, yeah, I've got 9 months. Yeah, I've got 6 months to go. And then it'd be like, oh gosh, I'm going to be paying loads of interest now. So, yeah. And just to be able to increase that, so I'd like to eventually, within 10 to 15 years, get it up to £5,000. I don't want it to be too high, but if you can see here, long-term goal would be deposit to buy a home or buy land, because I don't know where life's going to take me, but I'd imagine I will work again at some point. I have bipolar, I've had a breakdown, so I'm not currently working, I've lost my job or left my job. I no longer have a job because of my mental health. But I'd imagine I'd work again at some point. I just want to write it down and put it out there. I live in housing association, which is like council, local authority housing, so they can't just throw me out. Even if I did awful things, I think it would be difficult for them to. So I am protected. I'm not like in just standard renting where the landlord can kind of turn around and say, oh, I'm going to sell the house. And you got to find somewhere else to live. Membership and the subscription. I nearly didn't use this sheet for this because I only have the 4. Amazon Prime, I don't even have all the time. Like, I've got it at the moment. I've got it ready to be cancelled. I think it goes on the 12th or the 13th. So I don't keep it. And the flea stuff I kind of see as like a monthly bill, but I might also switch to just buying it on prescription from the vet, because this one isn't. Netflix is a subscription. I don't know. I don't have many. It's in rub out pens, so I can always rub it out and change it if I want. This one was interesting. So I get confused because I've just done a goal worksheet. Yeah, it says yearly savings, goals and events. I just filled out a goal worksheet for the next year to 15 years. This is for sinking funds. So I've put in my main sinking funds. I have more sinking funds than this. If you've seen my new budget category video, you'll see that. But I've just done my main ones. Yeah. And how much I would probably spend within a year. So it gives me an aim. But like birthdays, £56 a month. I'm going to put more in that, hopefully, in the coming months, because my daughter's birthday is coming up. And I'm not going to just spend £56 on her. But yeah, and then you have a tracker for those sinking funds, a written one of what goes in and comes out, and then obviously you have your colouring tracker. Let's skip ahead. I've set up all my categories in all of my yearly spending ones. I don't know what to use these for. I've seen some people do it for sinking funds, savings, or maybe I could do it as an emergency fund tracker. But I do that with savings challenges, so I don't actually have an exact... I know there's about 30 to 40 quid in there, maybe a bit more. Someone said, I've seen someone say do it on debt. So you track your debt payments or your debt going down. But I have this debt tracker. Oh, here's my direct debits over here. Quickly before I jump over. I haven't filled in all the payment amounts because I'm starting in April and everything's going up. Some of them have told me what they're going to be, like Sky. My mobiles did tell me, but I can't remember because they're exact pence. And I'm going to start doing all my debts... Sorry, all my bills to the exact amount. I have been rounding up, but instead of doing like, my broadband currently, my mobiles is currently like £44. I put down in my budget, but it's actually £43 something. And all of these bills, the rent, I need to speak to them to see how much I need to put it up by, because it's gone up, and I get help for the rent, but I just want to make sure that I'm covered, so I might put more into it. But mobiles, you know, I think it's like 43.75 or something. It might be 43.25, and I've been rounding it up because I wanted to keep I have a bill account which most of these bills come out of, and I wanted to keep a buffer in there. But I just end up transferring it back, and I just think, you know what, I'm on a low income budget. I could just transfer that back and then stick it in my savings challenge, my penny pot, or something like that. Or put it into it, you know, take a couple of quid that I saved from here and put it into sinking funds rather than just putting it back in my bank account and wasting it. So that's a work in progress. But I have done for my debt this lovely debt-free tracker. So if you watch my debt confession video and you are very good at memorising numbers or just watched it, you'll see that this is a little bit higher than what I said. It's only because I've rounded up the rent arrears to around an even 900. It was something like 874 or something. Because I'm going to be dealing with that in April. So that I hope, my plan is by the end of April, the rent arrears to be cleared. And I just thought, you know, I can be a bit ahead. It's not going to hurt. So yeah, I rounded it up so it's a bit higher. I wasn't sure how to colour this in because obviously you want it to be debt free at the top here, but it says it here. And then you want your number here. And then I've got the amounts for each line. Because I've done these before, and each month I don't just pay the 43. I might pay 96. Is that right? So yeah, I could colour in 2, but I've got an amount left over. So what I'm going to do is, the amount I pay, I'm going to start colouring upwards. And then for the outside, I'm going to start by colouring downwards. Because then it gives me, I've written the totals in. It gives me how much debt I've got left. So if I've coloured up to here, that says 1877.92, £1,877 left to go on my debt. But I could go up this way and write, 40, 80, 120, 160 roughly, you know, and I'd be like, I've paid, you know, this much off. And also I'll know when I'm halfway because they should meet in the middle. And I've highlighted the goalpost. So I didn't highlight 2000 because I could do, it's 3 away, I'm nearly there, but it's so close. But I highlighted like around the 1500 area, 1000 and 500. So that's just like a little colouring and debt tracker to keep me going. And this is based off the 1st of April, even though the 1st of April is on for 2 days. So I really want to get on top of my rent arrears, but I'm trying to hold off because I want it in April's budget because March wasn't a proper budget. And what a boost it'll be to colour a load in. when it's sorted, you know, in my new budget book. So yeah, Just I'm a bit quirky like that, I guess. I don't know who else is like that. I feel like lots of people are like that, but we don't always like to admit it. I know I don't. Here I have a credit score tracker. So I imagine you have this everywhere. Basically, there's a number attached to you on how risky or a good investment you'd be to lenders. It's based off any debts you owe, savings, investment, if you've paid your bills, even just being registered to vote helps with this. If you've seen previous videos, I went bankrupt a couple of years back. You know, that destroys your credit score, basically. I don't know. Does it just make it really bad? Does it take it down by so many points? I mean, it was bad anyway. But I have been kind of keeping an eye on where it's going, and it is slowly going in the right direction. And then I've had blips where I haven't paid. You know, that's where I got my rent arrears in, because we made an agreement not to pay rent, and they were like, oh, why didn't you pay that? And all of this stuff and debts and things. And I want to get my credit score back up. You know, like I said, 15 years time, I'd love to buy a house. You know, that's always been something I'd like to do. And I need this to be in the green. So green is good. Amber is so. Red is bad. I'm in the red, and it has gone up. So I just thought a nice pretty colouring tracker to keep an eye on where it is, and if there's any changes, you know, if it goes up and then goes down again, what have I done to make it go back down? So they're the and the notes page, they're the yearly trackers. And now we're going to head to April, because this is the April budget video. Let's see if I can stand it up just in camera. Okay, we'll take the key off a second. So this is my April calendar. Obviously, I start on a Monday week on the calendar, but my weeks actually go from Friday to Thursday, which could be confusing for some people. It's just, I've always been given money on a Friday. Like, when my daughter was born, and she's like late teens, mid-teens. Yeah, she's a teenager, so it's been over a decade. And when she was born, I used to get my benefits paid weekly and like my tax credits paid weekly on a Friday. And then I changed to Universal Credit last year, and that pays monthly. So, you know, it's been a good like 13 odd years plus that I've always received money on a Friday, and that tax credits I always used to buy the food shopping, which was the main thing of budget. So for me, that's why I run my week Friday to Thursday, because although I don't physically get paid on the Friday anymore, I'm trying to pay myself, and that's what I'm working towards. So yeah, and also I feel like, give me the money for the weekend, and then the boring stuff in the week, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. If I have no money, then I have no money. But most things go on a weekend. Whereas if I give myself the money on the Monday, I might go into town randomly on the Wednesday and blow all my money. And then I have none for fun at the weekend. So that's just the way it works for me. April is a 5-week month. I'm going to just close it that way now. As you may see, there are different colours on each line. That's because I have colour coded my weeks. This links in with later on in the budget. And then I have all of my cash envelope categories here. I will be writing in the colours what's what. So if I spend £20 on electric on Saturday the 9th, I'll write it in red. It's only because my electric's on a key meter that is separate from the bills. But I just, if I write in red £20 Londis in red, then I know that I've probably paid electric. But because I've done it as a separate thing, I'm just going to write electric, because I wouldn't write £15 bills. I'd put £15 TV license or something like that. So that's how this is going to run. I have set myself some goals for this month. 10 no spend days. I feel like this could be achievable. I'm running a 5-week budget. That means 2 no spend days a week. So that's, you know, set the bar high. Well, actually, I don't want to set it too low. I've had months where I've had like hardly no spending. I'm a little bit worried because the lump sum money is going to start being integrated into my budget more over this month. But I'm just, 2 no spend days a week. I could be like Sunday and Wednesday, I'm not going to spend anything. And then if a bill goes out that day, I might swap the days around. But my bills all tend to come out around the same time and towards the end of the month. And I might have 1 or 2 randomly dotted. So yeah, this one is my main goal this month. And this one on the bottom here, let's ignore the blue in the middle. This one on the bottom here, pay all bills on time. This one I want to nail because this month I've got to pay. I missed my water bill because I changed the direct debit on that. So a lot of my direct debits I've like tweaked and changed. I've either had to change amounts. Like my water bill wanted to be really high and I rang them and I was like, what? And they was like, oh, we missed a meter reading. And I'm like, okay. And they're like, you owe loads. And I'm like, I can't afford that. I think they wanted like 70 quid. And I'd been paying like £22 a month. And I was like, no. So we agreed 32. They just wanted to clear it because the next quarterly bill, was about to come out. So they wanted to pay off within the 4 months. And I was like, no, can we pay off a bit longer? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. So I missed that last month. And now this month I've got to pay 2 amounts, 2 lots. So yeah, I'd like to be able to pay all my bills on time this month and get it nailed in. And hopefully I've budgeted enough for all the changes that are coming. Because obviously my gas have told me that it's going up to nearly double what I was paying, but they haven't said that the direct debit is going up. So I kind of want to see what's happening there. Like, are they going to put it up? Because April is when everything's meant to change. My electric is meant to go up, and I just we'll see. It's interesting. It's going to be a bit of a funny month for bills, but I kind of want to get them all nailed down, even if it means other areas have to suffer. Hopefully they don't. The last target or goal for this month is have 2 weeks on budget in spending, ? Spending is an area I really struggle with because it's an area for me to just spend the money, but it's also like a miscellaneous category. Hence why the household came up, because I have really regular, almost daily migraines and headaches, and I take paracetamol every day, all day, every day. I can't take anything stronger or prescribed because of antipsychotic medication that I'm on for the bipolar. So I was spending on paracetamol. So I created a household category for things like paracetamol, day-to-day medication, toiletries, household cleaning products, everything else. So spending is an area I'm struggling with. So I'd like to focus on that. But if I don't come in budget with it and I come in budget with other areas, I'll be really happy because I have a budget. But it doesn't mean I stay within budget. But what I've been trying to do since I started my journey is kind of track where I'm overspending. Eating out is an area I really struggle with. I always budget to have none. I basically will have lower amounts in some areas because I feel bad putting a large amount in. And I want to save it or put it in sinking funds, and then I end up spending in it and less goes into sinking funds. So we'll see. They're my 3 goals. I mean, the purple one, the no spend days, is my priority, and the pink one. The pink is so important. But yeah. So as you'll see, I have a loose sheet and then the book. So this book, the Paycheck Budget Trackers, you get 5 in. And I wanted to do weekly because I get paid on various payment dates. I get paid every Tuesday. I get paid on the 19th. And then I get paid every 4 weeks. And I want to run a weekly budget. I can't do a calendar month budget. Or I could have done 1 calendar month budget, 1 4-weekly budget, and then 1 weekly budget for the £20 I get every Tuesday. But it would just seem a bit insane. So I'm running weekly, I've just shown you my week ones and stuff. Sorry, it's a lot on thinking ahead, and I hope this isn't too boring for you, but I hope it may also give people ideas for their budget. Or if you think, oh, this might help her, sharing is caring. So I photocopied and cut to fit in, because this is slightly smaller than A4 size, but I've done very wonky cutting. And I've done an April whole month budget for all 5 weeks. I've done my budgeted income, which I'm hoping will be about £2,000, because I'm going to roll over money from March. I've budgeted all my bills, which will include 2 of my TV licensing twice, because I'm going over 2/1 of the month here, but that's fine, it's only £14. And I've done all my bills at what I think they're going to be in the upped price, so I'm hoping that some of these will be less. We shall see. It's all a bit unknown, isn't it? I think most people around the world are as well. Is it something to do with how everything financially kind of went out the window because of COVID, and now everything's kind of returned back to normal, that inflation's risen so high everywhere and everything costs so much? Yeah, it's a new tax year, everything rises, doesn't it, every year? So I have done my cash envelope budget for the month. Some figures might look low, like food. I don't know. I've always had more for food, but it's just for the 2 of us, and it's literally just for our food. Some things might look too high. I don't think anything looks... I think it's a fairly steady, rounded budget. My food also, can I just say, I still have loads of food. I think I have like too much food. And then you go, oh, I don't want that, I want something else, and I don't have that in stock in my kitchen and pantry and chest freezer. So I want to kind of eat it down, because my chest freezer actually really could do with being defrosted. The ice is building up, so yeah, this. And I also, you'll see in my weekly check-in, I saw an offer for HelloFresh, and it was £20 for the first week's box for 5 meals for 2 people. It's just like nearly a whole week's food or dinners. So I got that out of March's budget, but it'll be delivered in April's budget. So like the first week, or I stock up on snacks and stuff, because I was having there was comments about, you know, having snacks in the house, and I am trying to lose weight, so I didn't want snacks in the house, but then I ended up going and blowing loads of money on them. So I'm going to incorporate snacks into my food shop as well. Maybe I should give myself a snack cash envelope. That would be interesting. See how much I actually spent on snacks. If it would be less than what I was spending when they were unbudgeted or not included in the food shopping. I'm waffling now, and I'm really sorry, this is going to be a long video. So, sinking funds, rollover is a fairly new sinking fund. It's going to be confusing, because I'm going to have a rollover income and I'm going to have a rollover sinking fund. But when I go into my weekly budget, you'll see how I'm going to, because there's going to be a rollover every week throughout the month. And then, yes, extra debt category, because I'll do a debt. Maybe I'll do a debt plan video as soon as I've sorted out the rent arrears. Because I do have money to clear all my debts. I'm not going to clear all my debts, because I deserve a treat and I deserve some fun, and we need stuff in the house, and I need to stuff certain sinking funds, like the vet's one. I have an elder cat who's not in the best of health, and I want to be prepared for if that time comes a bit sooner than expected. And birthdays and Christmas, I'd like to get the head on that a little bit. So, you know, I will do a debt plan, because I have thought about how I'm going to clear all this and when I want to be debt free. And then savings. So that's for the month. That is just the general monthly budget. And on this monthly budget, I have color coded what weeks I get what. So obviously I get rollover in week 1. But I'm actually going to get rollover in every week. But I coloured it for week 1, because that's the week 1. Otherwise there'd be no coloured in for week 1. And then I've colour coded the weeks of my bills as well, so I know which weekly budgets to put them in. And then these are just the colour categories for what they are. So now I've chewed your ear off on that. Quick drink break. Got a coffee going. What are you drinking while watching this long video? Have you got a snack? If you have, please tell me. I think after I film this, I'm going to have a sandwich and some crisps, maybe cheese and pickle, because here it is lunchtime. So yeah, let's carry on. This is week 1, color coded for week 1. I get paid. I've color coded my payments. Why did I do that? Oh, the color coded payments we'll come to in a second. So with the Budget Mum book, you get the Paycheck bill tracker. Bills, that's my only direct debit or my only bill for this week. This is being paid for in a rollover from here, but not in cash. It's in my bank account, in my bill bank account. Food budget. So the monthly budget that you saw is being made, it's designed for a 4-week budget, but because I used the 5th, I had like a 5 set aside for the 5 weeks, because I have a 5th week sinking fund, as you'll see here, and it'd be nice to have a week's worth of money in there, basically. But I didn't have that, so food has been divided by 5 weeks, so it's £30 a week, and etc, etc. Some things have been split, so when they get towards the end of the month, they're split between week 2 weeks. So this, at the moment, household is 10. Towards the end of my budget, will go down to £5 a week, just to stretch it that bit further. So yeah, here's all my categories. Some things will, so eating out doesn't get stuffed until I get a bigger pay, because it wasn't worth taking out of my rollover. And sinking funds will get paid when I get my bigger pays. That are my monthly and 4 weekly pays. Monthly, it is my monthly. Ignore the bunny ear quotations. So yeah, some of these won't get paid until I get my bigger pay. This is just a basic roll me over pay. So what I've done with my budget is, I wish my camera was like slightly higher up so you could see this better. I hope you can see, because I'm actually not looking through the camera, I'm looking at my book. So I've highlighted over here my pays, and then over here I've highlighted them again and given them the date they're going to get paid, so I know when to get the money out of the bank. No. Okay. This bit I need to look on the next page. Ignore me. So I've got a rollover sinking fund pay, and all of the categories that you saw in my envelopes are going to come out of that. But it comes to 150, and for all you eagle-eyed people, I've budgeted 130 rollover. That's because that rollover is going to go for the first 3 weeks of cash envelopes until I get my monthly pay, my universal credit, which is my main pay. So basically, with what I've been doing so far with my budget journey, if you see my previous videos, I have been working to zero every week. Now I'm going to roll over every week. So I don't know. Yeah, you can see that's this box previously on my previous incomes would have been 0, but now I'm rolling over because I'm rolling over the amount of my cash envelopes. So I have a rollover, basically a rollover cash envelope, which is my sinking fund, but we'll see. So rollover week 2 is having £7 from my child benefit. And then I've done my cash breakdowns. And my goal is, by doing it this way and separating it into colour-coded income, that this £20 a week I've been getting previously that ends up getting wasted or covering shortfalls in the area actually has a dedicated amount. Because with budgeting, yes, it's to save money, get out of debt, be in control of your finances, but I think Fuchsia Budget said it in a video either recently or a previous video, because I've been watching, she got her Budget Mum book I think at the beginning of the year or the end of last year, so I've been watching some of her setup videos, and she said that a zero-based budget isn't just about getting to a 0, it is about getting to it is about giving every pound, every number of income you get a purpose. So that's what I'm trying to do with the child benefit. Also, we'll turn over to week 2 now. Also, you know, from if you've watched previous videos, you would have seen that anything I had left over in my envelopes at the end of the week, I would put in my savings challenges, because I always budget 0 for savings challenge, and then anything left over I put in. But obviously this amount here, or should we go, the amount left over that's going into next week's rollover to stuff the cash envelopes is not in my purse. So that's not included in that. It's literally anything that's left over here will go into these. So I did get that right. Ignore me if you thought, oh, I was unsure about that. That is right. It's because that's 14 here for week 1 bills, and week 2 bills is 14, and I've done it so that the child benefit will roll it straight over into the bill account. So again, I have a rollover and I have my child benefit. It's coloured week 2 for that colour to match up with the monthly budget and the budget calendar. My bills, I don't know when this washing machine is coming out. All my cash envelopes, so my cash envelope totals are different each week. Week 1 it's 150, and week 2 it's 80. I think week 3 it goes up again. Yeah, it's back up to 150 because I get paid, and then it drops to £45 a week. It's based on what the needs are for that week. Some weeks envelopes like pocket money or eating out or cats might get stuffed, or electric might be stuffed higher or lower. Food stays the same throughout. Household will stay at 10, and then for the last 2 weeks it drops to £5 a week. I think I do the same with travel, maybe spending as well. Yeah, so they slightly vary, but it's pretty much the same and standard. Food, I wanted to keep the same every week. And I was just saying about my savings challenges, anything that's left is going to go into savings challenge. Well, week 1 of April budget, I have bought a HelloFresh box that's coming out of March budget. So that £30, if I only spend a tenner on, or 20 quid on top up stuff, I might roll that tenner over, because it doesn't feel like a lot. I mean, I did a main food shop the other week for £17 in Aldi, and I got everything I needed and a couple of extra bits that I didn't need. We literally, like, we have so much frozen veg. We have a couple of chicken breasts. We have like 3 or 4 dinners worth of sausages. We have like fish fingers. We have pies. We have loads and loads of pasta and rice. We have some passata and tin tomatoes, baked beans. So, and we have so much bread, like, oh my gosh. We need to eat bread with every meal. We need to get through this bread. I also have a woman that lives near me that works for a charity. She has food to give out on a Friday night. And there are things like oleo and that you can do. So it would just be like, literally, it's like little top-up shops, because I just have so much food in. It's just insane. It's an amazing position to be in, and I wish that, you know, I could give some of it away, but the things like passata and tin tomatoes and baked beans are all really cheap, you know, and so I don't have loads of stock of them. I think I have like 2 tins of tomatoes, and I could use that within a week. So it's not even like I have loads of the stuff that I could give to food banks, but I just have loads of the other stuff. So yeah, this stays pretty much standard. This won't get stuffed in week 2. So again, what I've done basically is I've just gone through the whole month and done each weekly budget and what I should cash stuff for each week. This is done in Rub-Out Pen. So if something goes wrong in my budget and I go way over and I spend the whole rollover in the first week, then I will adapt this as follows. And I've just color coded it to try and help, and I just think it looks a bit pretty. Yeah, so it's all basically set up, and then I can check in with how much I've done each week on each actual bit. Then obviously week 3 I get my universal credit, which is my main pay, and as you can see, it's different. So this is the last week that I used the rollover from the first of the month to pay some of my cash envelopes. And then things like travel, electric, eating out, pocket money, all cash envelopes, they are being paid from universal credit, which I think gets paid on the Tuesday. So they're not like, I have a buffer of electric. And eating out isn't like really, really important that we must do it on the Friday when the week starts. Travel might be a sticking point, but maybe I'll just take it from spending or something. So yeah, and then I have a rollover to week 4, so I'm gonna basically, like, I don't know if it was clear and when I said it before, I'm gonna pay my cash envelopes a week ahead as much as I can. So I've got them, I'm on week 3 and I'm gonna have the cash envelope for week 4, and then I also have the rollover sinking fund, which goes into paying for May's cash envelopes, just to get a little bit ahead of myself, if that makes sense. Also, anything in the brackets, that's for my bill account. It's not to come out in cash, as you can see. So basically, I don't know how I'm going to do it. Here currently is my rollover sinking fund to get stuffed in the next video because I have the cash for it. So that's what's going to fund the first 3 weeks. But I don't know. On week 3, I'm stuffing both my rollover sinking fund, but rollover for the following week. And I have this monthly cash envelope folder that I made and my purse that I took out. So maybe I might put, when it starts the month, I'll put all the money for all the categories in here because I have the monthly amount behind it. And then I just top it up as and when needed. I think that's what I'm going to do. But basically, yeah, I just want to have the money for my cash envelopes a week ahead. I'm going to trust myself that I will be sensible and not spend them. But if I spend them, it's my own tough luck, and I just hope I'll survive. I'm just trying to teach myself control, basically. And again, the same, different pay, different colours, and different sinking fund stuff in. So that's week 4. And then week 5 is a really simple week. Roll over, tie everything up. Bish bash bosh. The one thing I am struggling with though is these expense tracker sheets. I don't know how to use. I know how to use them. I don't know how to categorize them. I'm going to give one to my bill account because then each week I can just do a check-in under how many bills I've paid. My nail varnish has just coloured the page red. Can you see that? Yeah. Nail varnish is a colouring pen. I might try and write my bills with it because they're red. Yeah, but before, when I tried doing the budget mum style, before I started doing my weekly check-ins, I would do cash and card. Because you get 6 of these. But I don't want to sit there through 5 weeks worth of payments going, So I did like a week 1 and the rollover and starting balance. And I thought I could do like cash and card payments on the thing and then maybe put a dot next to it if it's on card. Because I want to be an all cash spender or as much as I possibly can. So the idea is I shouldn't be spending on card. That's the whole point of this, isn't it? For me, I know a lot of people do it cashless. But for some people, cash is dangerous because they just spend it all. For me, card is dangerous because I have no idea what I'm spending. You can tell me a number, it makes no sense. I still think I've got £900 in the bank and then I've gone and spent like £100 here, £50 here, 25 there, another 50 there. It won't add up to me and I still think in my head, yeah, it's okay, I'll buy that. I've got £900 to spend. So yeah, do I do all my weeks in one or do I separate it and have card and cash and then just have weekly checkpoints where I just draw a totals line? How do you guys do yours? Do I even need to do this because I'm going to be tracking my spending on the calendar? Wrong way. I'm going to be tracking my spending on this calendar and then each week at check-in. I don't know. Maybe these sheets could be used for better use. I've written it in Erasable ink, so it's okay. Let me know. This is the big question. How should we use these expense trackers if we're tracking it on a calendar and on the weekly, actual next to the budget? Anyone that does it weekly, let me know. What do you use your expense trackers for? Is it just a log to keep track? Right. So, debt payment plan. I filled in all my debts and their totals and their priorities. Rent arrears is the top priority now. I know I said before in my debt confessions video, if you've seen it, that I was only going to pay part of it because that's what we agreed. Changed my mind. I'm going to clear it. So yeah, and then I can fill in, because I'd like to make a extra debt payment to my rent arrears this month, and it will change my debt balance. Net worth tracker, this will be good to see, especially as I try and whittle my debts down, but you'll find out about that in a debt plan video. Where did my money go? So basically I'm going to do a monthly closeout as well. What I really love is there's a meal plan. This is not set. This is okay, these are things you could have. I've looked through my freezers and my cupboards, and basically my house is a shop, really, isn't it? And I looked to see what I've got, and I'm trying to, oh, hang on. Sorry about that. That horrible noise was my buzzer. Horrible, isn't it? Yeah, Amazon. You'll find out what I've been, actually no, it is actually something that I needed to buy. Yeah, you'll find about that you'll find out about that in my weekly check-in for this week. Anyway, where were we? Yeah, meal plan. Sorry, it's such a long video, and I'm really sorry, and I'm trying to like speed myself up. This is the last page, don't worry. If you're still watching, and I'm just losing focus and train of thought now. Right, like I said, I've tried to film this video quite a few times. Even in this one, there's been a couple of interruptions and I've had to pause it. This is the third time I think I'm filming this. Just because life, people turn up, or I run out of time, and just, yeah. So I've made this meal plan for the month. It was nice, but also difficult. I've not got the same meal repeating twice anywhere over a month, which I feel insane, because I feel like we eat the same thing every time. But maybe I was trying to make it a bit more interesting, because we do eat a lot of the same things. Like we have tuna pasta every week or every couple of weeks, and we have spag bowl pretty regularly, and egg pasta is it's like a Slimming World version of a carbonara, and you make the sauce out of whisked eggs. I've got HelloFresh in here, but this is not set as in we have to eat pizza on the 8th of April or tuna pasta on the 12th of April. I have colour coded my weeks down here, and then when I meal plan, I will, you know, so week 1 will probably have a lot of pink in it because of the HelloFresh and it needing using. So yeah, I can go off what we fancy that week and what needs using up in the fridge that week, because that was one thing I found when I've done monthly meal plans before. Even when I do weekly meal plans, you might not fancy that meal on that day. So have the freedom to change it up. Be like, oh, I really fancy pizza on Tuesday, but I'm not having it till Friday. Oh, let's just have it tonight. Let's treat ourselves, because then I'm hoping that it'll stop the need for a takeaway. So yes, that is the end of my setup. There's May. If you have any questions or suggestions or thoughts or anything else, then please let me know, especially these expense trackers. I know it's July's, but I really am stuck with them, and I'm thinking maybe I should just do a sinking fund tracker or something, and a bill tracker, and a bank account tracker, and then a cash tracker, and then just check in each week how much I've spent or not spent. I don't know. It's tricky, isn't it? So I am really sorry that this video is like nearly an hour long. Some people do like long videos. I hear a lot of people apologizing for the length of their videos. I like both. I like long and short. You know, I tend to know who has the slightly longer ones and who has the slightly shorter ones, and then I watch them depending on what I fancy that day. So yeah, thank you for joining me. I hope this was helpful, because I know some people have commented saying they're setting theirs up. We all do it differently. Do it to whatever suits you. Some people hate highlighters and lots of colour, and they want it simple, and that is also good. I do not like too much colour. I think this one was too much. Like all of this being coloured in, which is why I went to writing the categories in their colour. But I don't even need to do that really. I could just write it all in the same pen, and I might do that in future because I only really need the payment highlighted. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope this gives you insight. Hopefully the budgeting videos will be quicker each month because I've gone through and explained everything, and I'll just write everything out and then I'll put totals in with you, or something like that. Now I know what I'm doing or what I want. And then obviously we'll check in each week. So we're going to be starting on April week 1 on Friday. So today is Wednesday. Oh my god, I tried to film this Monday and Tuesday. Today is Wednesday, so I will be checking out for March probably tomorrow or Friday. And I will cash stuff my cash envelopes for April week 1 while I'm doing it. I am going to be filming another video today that will come up hopefully just straight after this one, on my channel, of me doing a very quick cash stuffing from my PIP payment for March, my disability benefit, because I have that, and that's going to fund that rollover. So come join me to see if that number matches up with what I'm going to stuff. I'm sorry, that was so loud. I need to go, and I've got energy and I feel a bit out of sync and thrown because I like it to be quiet and calm when I do these videos so that I can think straight. But yes, so I will see you in the next one if you want to return. If not, thank you for joining me. I hope that it wasn't awful. And just, yeah, take care everyone. See you soon. Bye.